So here we are in my brand new YouTube studio. Today I'm going to show you how I set it up, how I decided what the layout was going to be, what I chose for the paint colors on the wall, the lighting, the sound, the whole shebang. I know we talk all the time about being able to film very simple YouTube videos at home, but I get a ton of questions about where can I do it? I don't have a dedicated filming space. I don't have a good place to film and therefore my backdrop doesn't look good. Well, today let's talk about all the different options that are available to you. Doesn't have to be an entire dedicated room, although if you do have a spare room in your house, it certainly makes things easier. Let's get started. So here we are at the new homestead, but now we've got to set up the new YouTube studio / office. And it's gonna be a lot of work because the whole YouTube studio is pretty much the same color as the exterior of the house, which means like baby poo brown. Yes! And there's even a chicken coop. Oh my gosh, I love the idea of having fresh eggs every morning. Although I've heard that chickens are very stinky, so I'm not sure. And so see where those skylights are right there? That is the new YouTube filming room. Let's go check it out. Hi, Emma. So here's what we got to work with. We have 2 skylights here, and I'm just not sure about the lighting, if that's going to be a good thing or not. And then here is, hi Emma, the rest of the room. I'm really thinking about making this corner my YouTube setup. So it'd look something like this if I were sitting at a desk with that in the backdrop. And I could have some cool lights back there, and I could have my little subscribe call to action. I think that might be really cool. I hate this paint color so much. There is nothing exciting about it. It's not flattering to skin tones. But let's get the furniture in and arrange stuff, and then we'll worry about what color the backdrop is gonna be. The next time I get the urge to move, please talk me out of it. So my office is looking okay so far, right? Yeah, not so much. The saga continues. It is so hard to figure out where to put stuff. This is what I'm working with. It's a very long rectangular room. Ow, kick the desk, that hurt. The door is down there, the ceilings slope on both sides, and then I have 2 big skylights and a window here. But where to put the desk so that that is in the background? Do I put the desk on an angle so it's like this? Do I put the desk right in front of the window so that I am kind of centered and this is off to one shoulder? Decisions. Why is this so hard? When it comes to setting up a new YouTube studio, the first thing you've got to figure out is where are you going to be filming? Now, if you have an entire spare bedroom or your home office and you can film in that room, that's great if you have a whole room. But what if you don't? What if you live in an apartment and you only have a corner? That's okay. As you can see in this room, what's behind me is just a section of wall that's about 10 feet wide maybe. And depending on how I place the camera, you don't see anything else. That's all you would see. So decide what could be behind you. It could be a bookshelf with some pretty stuff on it. It could be a giant framed print on the wall. It could be one of those vinyl decals of the city skyline. If you live in a recognizable city and you've got that on the wall behind you, it can really be anything you want. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It just needs to be clean and not very cluttered, and preferably a good color, which brings me to the paint color. I hated the beige walls that this room was when I first got it. The beige is just a little too much like skin color, and so when you stand in a beige room, it just washes everything out. It's just very two-dimensional. So I knew the first thing to go was going to be the beige walls, but what color to choose? I went to Pinterest and I went to YouTube and I started looking for inspiration. Every time I saw a really good looking YouTube studio on camera, I took a screen grab of it. And as I started going through my saved folders, looking at all these screen grabs, I noticed that they had a lot in common. They were all typically very dark. They had a little bit of lighting in the background that are called practicals. It's a desk lamp, a table lamp, a floor lamp, an actual lamp, not designed to be photography equipment. It's an actual lamp in your house. And when it shows up on camera, it looks like it's supposed to be lit. And I knew that I wanted some practicals in the background. I have a great big standing gold floor lamp over here that I like very, very much. Thank you, Amazon. And then I got some of these LED lights that turn different colors. They're very cool because they could be red, they could be yellow, they could be blue, they could be white, they can be any light that you like. And I knew that if I was shining them on an extremely dark wall, that it was going to really change the mood of the room and change the overall color scheme. All right, we're getting there. We painted the entire room this navy blue color. It's a Sherwin-Williams color called Salty Dog, and I totally love it because it is a dark, dark, dark blue, but it's not so black. It looks like a super deep navy blue, which I love. Then I've been looking for things to accent behind me. So this just came, God bless Amazon. It is a Himalayan salt lamp that I'm going to put on this cabinet, the shelving unit over here. So it will light up behind me, but it doesn't really put out a ton of light. It's just for ambiance. So here it is in action. It's very, very dark back there, but that glowing atmosphere from behind you, it just adds that little extra something that's fun. So today the desk comes. I'm very excited that I will finally have a desk because here's what I'm working with so far. Nothing. I have a chair and nowhere to put my computer, and all of the Zoom calls and things that I've been doing lately have been at this little end table with my laptop set up sitting on this couch, which also came from Amazon, by the way. Now I'll link to everything that I have down below. I buy everything on Amazon whenever possible. You probably remember in my old office, I had a piece of furniture behind me. It was my printer stand, and I had LED strip lights taped to the back of that piece of furniture. They lit up and they were very attractive, but I don't have that piece of furniture in this room now, so I lost those lights. In the end, I ended up buying another set of 2 of these LED lights. So I have 2 behind the couch behind me. One is shining on the back wall, one is shining on the side wall, and then I have 2 on the bookcase behind me. The salt lamp is what I would consider another practical. It is designed to be decor in your home. It's not designed to add light onto your face. It's just pretty, and it lights up, and it's a completely contrasting color to the paint color behind me, so it really stands out, and I think it looks great. Which brings me to the actual lighting. So if you're going to be filming in a dark room, you need some light. Now, if you're filming in a basement that doesn't have a ton of windows, if you're filming in a bedroom that maybe faces north and it only has 1 window, you're going to probably want some additional lights. They don't have to be super expensive or elaborate. Keep in mind that I've been doing this now for about 4 years. I've kind of accumulated gear over the years, but this big soft box over here is the very first light that I got. I have a set of 2 of these, and they were about $50 for the set of 2. They were not overly expensive. The downside is that they take up a ton of room because you can see exactly how big they are. But the good news is it's very, very flattering light. It's super, super bright, and it is diffused on your face because of this big cover that goes over it. Then I've got a set of 2 lights that are LED lights that I call barn door lights because they've got these flaps that open top and bottom and side to side, and they let you control the amount of light, the intensity of the light, and the shade of the light, which is really cool. I have one when I'm sitting at my desk doing more of a tutorial style. I have one that's shining on the back of my head. It's called a hair light. The idea is that it's going to separate you from your background. So if you've got this light shining on the back of your head, it creates like a little halo around your head and it separates you from the back wall. The light in front of me is off to the side a little bit, and that's called a key light. The idea there is that you've got light shining more on one side of your face than the other, so that you're not just completely white all the way across. You have a little bit of shading, a little bit of depth, a little bit of shadow, and that seems to look more interesting on camera than if you just have one giant light right in front of your face and it's really bright, and my joke is you look like you're being interrogated by the CIA. Now, if you've got natural lighting, natural light is awesome. At my old office, I had put my desk directly in front of the window, so the light came in the window and it would shine on me while I was broadcasting. I was often doing a lot of Zoom calls and filming with the webcam on my computer, and 90% of the time that light was just fine. It may not have been super artistic, but was it adequate lighting? Yes, it was. And again, it's very flattering light because natural light is very flattering. Fuzz. Now in my new room, I do have 2 skylights. Right now they're uncovered, and how am I going to cover them? I don't know. It's probably going to be something totally DIY like silver foil, because I don't think they really make curtains for skylights. But then again, who knows? Amazon sells everything else. Maybe they do. Now, the way I arranged this room I thought was kind of cool, because I can sit at my desk and I can do live streams with my webcam, I can do Zoom calls, I can do more tutorial style trainings where I then share my screen, or I could be sitting on the couch with a lender, maybe somebody that I'm interviewing, and it would be a little more casual. I'm using a Canon EOS Rebel T7i, which is around $700. It's kind of an entry-level DSLR. It's not crazy expensive, but it's not dirt cheap either. If you don't need to go buy a camera, don't. You are certainly able to film with your phone. You'll have no problems whatsoever. And then if you start closing lots of deals, you start getting a lot of clients, you want to level up your production quality, you can always go out and buy a camera and start learning how to use it then. As for audio, I'm really, really, really happy that I finally have carpet in my filming space. My old office had hard floors and high ceilings, coffered ceilings, so it had like wood carvings and stuff on the ceiling. It was difficult to have decent audio in that room. I would throw blankets and pillows and comforters on the floor trying to muffle the sound. I had to bring in a fabric chair. I had to put up curtains, not necessarily to decorate it, just to make it sound better. In this room, it's a spare bedroom. It's got carpet. Hallelujah. Makes a huge difference to the sound quality. But I still always recommend that you have an external microphone. Whether you're using your phone or a camera or a webcam, if you're just speaking directly into that camera, the sound quality is not that great. So what I'm using right now is a shotgun mic attached to the top of the camera. Because I'm only about 4 feet away, it's adequate. It's probably not the greatest sounding audio in the world, because let's face it, I'm cheap. This was like a $30 microphone, but it's better than not using an external microphone at all. When I'm sitting at my desk and I'm live streaming, I'm using a Rode Podcaster that my husband got me for our anniversary. Thank you. And that is a really great sounding microphone. And the closer you can get it to your mouth, the better your audio is going to sound. So that is how I set up my new YouTube studio. I scoured the internet looking for inspiration. I discovered an awesome YouTube channel called Becki and Chris. Becki is a professional photographer and her husband Chris is a surgeon of some sort, but he's also a very good photographer in his own right. And on their channel, they do a ton of tutorials about setting up studios and setting up lighting and how do you design and all that kind of stuff. And I was watching a couple of their videos where they showed an actual diagram of where to place the lights. It was incredibly helpful. I'm going to link to it so you can watch that one as well. But it basically said the light goes here, the subject is here, the hair light goes here, the practicals go here, and it was really, really helpful to see that. So when I did my first live stream in the new office, that's kind of what I used as a model. So if it's time for you to redo your filming area, I want you to take a good look around your house and think, where could I possibly film that would look attractive on camera? Grab your phone or your camera, walk through the house and look through the viewfinder to imagine what it would look like from the point of view of the viewer. And if it's just one little area, could it even be an accent wall? You don't have to paint your entire room navy blue like I did, but what if you just painted one little wall and that became your filming space? Do a lot of test shots. Just turn on the camera and start talking like this, and then play it back and see how it looks. And then once you find one that you like, now you're in business. If you're serious about getting new clients from your YouTube channel, people that want to buy and sell a house in your market and use you to represent them, I want you to download my YouTube starter kit. It's totally free and it's going to help put you on the right path to using YouTube as a lead generation strategy. Oh my gosh, my feet fell asleep. I had to stand up for a minute, but hey, at least my dog is not snoring in the background this time.